All right, here we go.
Let's go.
Let me get ready. So first of all, did you get your t-shirts?
Yeah.
All right, done. So first it was like initially approved, and then they found out like she approved it too soon.
That's right.
So now we have a district grant that's officially approved. And here are the plans. And here is, if you remember the video from a few weeks ago about the state of their kitchen, these are the plans for their new kitchen right now. I can forward the rest of them if you're interested. It's an upgrade, to say the least. So it's very, very exciting. And this is all of your fundraising efforts. This is your money at work. So it's, and it's Howard at work, because he wrote that whole grant by himself. And while we're on this slide, I would like to say we did $1,500 to flood relief for the Swat Valley in Pakistan. They sent a very nice thank you email, but the video attached, it just couldn't play it. That's not us helping. That's why we're helping. But that was a hard way to start the morning. So oh, okay. If you'd like to see it, okay. So. Yeah. This is the recognition from Joyce.
Oh boy. I had a good fortune to be asked to go on a walk out of the Samoa Dunes and Wetlands with a reporter from the LA Times. Jennifer Savage invited me, and we were showing her, she wanted to know what life was like out on the peninsula. We were showing her the beautiful forest, and she was commenting on, look at all the moss hanging from the trees. I said, wait a minute. That's not moss. I have a story to tell you. It's a simplified version of the kid's story. Once upon a time, there was a fungus called Francine fungus. And Francine was a great home builder, lousy cook. Well, Francine met Albert Algae, who couldn't build a home worth a darn, but could make food, all kinds of food from energy from the sun. Well, Albert Algae and, Francine fungus and Albert Algae took a liking to one another. All those beautiful, anyway, this reporter who has a 4-year-old was entranced by this story. And my big time to be quoted in the LA Times was all about Francine fungus and Albert Algae.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, there's more. Oh yes, Wine by the Sea. I believe, tell me the time with the Oktoberfest is what time again? Folks?
October 1st.
On what time?
2 to 5.
Oh, 2 to 5 or what you do?
Oh, 2 to 5. Well, if you hit that early, and then you can come out to the Humboldt Coastal Nature Center. We're finally back for Wine by the Sea. This is a benefit for Friends of the Dunes, where we do our Adopt a Highway cleanup. It's a beautiful outdoor event. We're so excited to have it back. Drink wine, ocean view, bid on auction items. And even if you can't make it, you can go. We'll have our auction online, and I'll give you more information as we go. So I carry around tickets. I can help you get tickets to Wine by the Sea. I'm on the board, so that's my advertising.
They're $55, 3 to 6, October 1st.
Yes.
So be there first.
But I will tell you.
Get your hunger on.
Can I just tell you an inside secret as a board member? I've been authorized. I can give out a few special member rate tickets, so $45 for members. So if you want to see me and get the inside scoop, let me know.
Okay,
It's
we're here.
Right.
This is the weekend.
We're here, yes. Sunday morning, right there on the plaza. AJ, thank you. I don't see AJ, created a Sign Up Genius. AJ, you're in there somewhere. AJ created a Sign Up Genius. Thank you, AJ. So go search for Sign Up Genius or AJ if you're, and find that and sign up. But also, I just want to give a huge thank you, AJ, Dick, Rebecca, Holly, John, Ashley, Jessica, Brandy, Ian, Amy, Sophie, Maggie, Peggy, Lisa, Terry, who contributed to multiple people's individual teams, Randy and Lisa, Janice, Craig, Brian, and Stu Reeser, and many of your family members and friends who contributed to our teams. When I looked last night, we had raised $5,500. We're the top raising team, and this is such an important event to show love, support, compassion, be there for families, for individuals who are struggling, who have been impacted by suicide. And this is the best way that we can possibly respond to that pain, is by proactively communicating that we're watching out for each other, we care about you, and in our community, we are fighting to prevent suicide. Come there Sunday morning. 10 o'clock is the opening ceremony. 10:30 is when the walk begins. And let's join forces and give a positive message in our community. Thank you.
Do you know how well the Sign Up Genius is going? Are all
There's a lot of spaces that need a little help.
okay?
And it was just AJ that were just so nice, because they didn't have a way to send volunteers up at all. So we
Okay.
sent it back to them, and they said, "Oh my gosh, this is a great idea. We'll send it to our volunteers."
Okay.
But yes, helpers are needed.
But like it's like 8 to 9:45.
7:45 a.m. is setup crew. But
Okay.
there's a lot of other possibilities.
Okay,
too.
so just keep an eye out. AJ sent out a very thorough Sign Up Genius, and there are still spaces.
I was wondering if we have any visitors or guests.
We're getting to that.
We gotta get used to the time, and we used to that being first, the best down the line, we'll just get used to it.
All right, Craig, let's just do it right now. Because we just saw somebody walk in. Oh, well, she's still busy, so we'll just go.
I have my guest on short with our program.
Yay! And you're gonna talk to us about?
Broadband.
Oh, right. And then, oh, she's the interactor. Yeah, you're on the list. But let's celebrate the interactors while you're finishing your breakfast. Okay, interactors. Yeah. Yes. Well, let's introduce your guests.
Oh, Emily, I thought we knew her.
Where'd you go? I know. Okay.
If you didn't know, it's tax season, so we're having lots of fun.
So pretty late. Let's see, on September 20th, the Fellowship Committee has an event, no host bar on the Matticat. It's $15 a person. We recommend, getting your tickets early because it normally does sell out. So if we want to all go together, get them soon. And then we'll have a couple other events that we'll put out save the dates for. In October, we're gonna do mini golf, and then in December, we're thinking about doing maybe a distillery event, but more information on that to come. So mark your calendars.
Do the 5:30 tour.
Yes, thank you.
So we're all on the same one.
This is a 3-hour tour.
I think this is the business one, right? Where it's just like 45 minutes and
Yeah. That's right. It is the non-narrative.
drink what you can and.
We have a cocktail on the smallest bar in California.
No, and oldest, longest running.
Yes.
Very,
Smallest, oldest, longest.
Yeah.
I won't tell you because they don't talk.
yeah. Is Amy here?
She is online.
Oh,
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me? Wild Souls Ranch's biggest fundraiser of the year, Sip of Summer, is coming up on September 24th. The Hard Cider Festival. That's family friendly with food trucks and live music. And we have Wild Abandon playing and Jackie and the Jollies and the Critics. And it's a super fun event. It's from 1 to 5 at Roner Park in Fortuna, and you can get tickets at North Coast Tickets. If anybody's interested in volunteering, feel free to call me. My number's there, 707-407-7990. Thank you so much. And the funds support Wild Souls Ranch and keeping our services free to our kiddos.
thank you. All right, Marty.
Okay, everybody, it's time for Oktoberfest. And Maggie stepped up to update our flyer. We're gonna have an updated flyer, but today I'm still looking for volunteers. I've been sending emails out, so I don't know who's been getting them, but I'd like a 5-minute recap at the back table after the meeting this morning, if you can help out, so I can kind of catch everybody up and make some plans, because I'm gone for 10 days after next week. And got a lot of stuff set up. We're gonna do the same menu as we did last year. We're gonna do bratwurst, sauerkraut, German potato salad, a pretzel, and Vanessa stepped up to make truffles again. And she needs a couple of helpers to roll truffles, so that's gonna be on the sign up. Okay, there you are. Of course. So AJ is gonna put a sign up genius out where you need kitchen help. I'm going to ask Interact to help also, so you guys can help like you did last year. That would really be helpful. And you guys did awesome last year, so
Yeah, you killed
you
it.
rocked it. Yeah. That's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna be in your face. So.
Oh, did this one? All right, mini golf. Here's the other.
This is to save the day.
It's a save.
It's a Sunday.
Okay, yeah, Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. $7 a person. No, Jessica's not here. Oh, she is here. You asked for.
Yeah.
So
Just
give
save
it.
the date.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but
Keep
the
these.
fellowship That's coming up this month, next month.
Fellowship is busy.
We're working on it. We're working to make things happen.
There might be basketball in January.
Oh, we got all kinds of plans going.
Miss Amanda. Did you read that?
I did. I told you how about it.
I mean, there's like a little competition between Jessica and Claire about who takes the best notes at meeting. And I just appreciate both of you. Yeah, no. Also, save the date, October 19th, Women in Rotary at the Griffin. No connection. Yeah.
What does your shirt say?
Hey, support women in business. Dustin is not here. Does anybody know more about this?
Yes, I can.
Oh,
give a
okay.
quick up on that.
Yeah.
So Salvador Rico from the Ukiah Club has set up an environmental tour of Mexico, in which it's similar to the old Festival of Brotherhood, where people went to different projects, but actually this project is going to go throughout most of central Mexico, from Guadalajara out to Mexico City, and stop at several of the big projects, lakes and rivers that they're trying to do cleanup. And they have projects established already. So it's going to be a hands-on as well as a informational project tour. It's limited to 50 people, and you can get information through Dustin, or it's on the website, District 5130 website. So if anybody is interested at all in getting on that, sign up soon, because they are filling up with that. I know Dustin's going, I was gonna try to go, but it's not happening this year. But Salvador would really like to see some involvement from the North Coast area. So take a look at it on the website, and it's really good. It's a good tour. Work experience in Mexico.
Lazo. Would you like to tell us what you've been up to?
Good morning, Rotarians. Hope you had a good week, because I had a good one as well. So over the 3-day weekend, Ian and I and his family went out to the Smith River. So we went to the Smith River itself. We swam in it. So California is known for the bears. So took a picture with his daughter, Griffin, and the host daughter, Hila. So that's what I did over the weekend. Then the previous weekend, I went out with Rotarian Brian and his family out for the picnic. Went to the Redwood National Park. I think, yeah. We found the Rotary chain, the Rotary symbol on our trail. It was one of the treasure hunts. So that's what we did. That's what I've been up to the previous week. And school is going well.
How's your soccer team doing?
Good. I've been finally cleared by the North Coast section to play.
Yes.
I'll be having a game in Fort Bragg tomorrow. Then I came with a gift all the way from Uganda. Well, since we meet so early in the morning, I brought some coffee from Uganda. I hope you enjoy this.
Yeah,
This
we'll get some.
is locally grown in Uganda, and my grandmother made this. Yeah. I'll be happy if all you enjoy it. Then from my Rotary Club from Uganda, I brought a small band.
Make arranged one for you as well. Beautiful.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
I love the photos, are just so amazing. Can you just follow me around and make my life easier?
Well, that's the perfect comment because nobody took pictures at the welcome event. These are these are the two I could find. So thank you to Jennifer Coriel for sending me this one. And then there are some lost dishes that Claire has and would like to find homes for them. And there was cake. There was too much cake. So. She's, okay. Really, my biggest thank you this week is to Howard. You've been instrumental in two of the most powerful things that we do here and what we're doing here. The orchestrating both the flood relief and the Cambodia project. It's really powerful. You don't get flowers, I'm sorry. But, but if you want an ice cream, I'll get you next week. But really, yeah, speechless, usually. Raffles ready?
While we're doing that, I'd love to go back to the thank you slide. Is Rebecca on?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
A
Rebecca,
huge
yeah.
thank you to Rebecca, who just stepped up to grab all the stuff from our yard sale and get all of that to Black Humboldt. actually had to go out of town and Rebecca broke into my house and climbed in there and took all the stuff out of there and got it to Black Humboldt, and it's just awesome. And Rebecca is also really fundamental in doing something called, in coordinating another event that'll happen on Sunday called Home Away from Home, and that's where our community says to students, we are glad you're here and you're appreciated and valued in our community. And Rebecca's just huge in making that event happen on Sunday, where we give them a free meal and stuff. So huge thank yous to Rebecca.
Yeah.
We'll do it at the end. Yeah, no, at the end.
All right, 820-601. Oh, that's me. There's a lot of walls out here.
Yeah.
What is 0574?
Wow. People got stuff. Yes, oh. What?
Someone's not paying attention. Oh, that's why I get to take some of the coffee home. Good morning, all. Our guest this morning is someone who needs no introduction, but I will give one anyway. Connie Stewart, who is, as we all know, been very involved in almost everything in Arcadia and the Humboldt County environs. She is currently at Cal Poly, which I keep remembering to say now, Cal Poly Humboldt, working on major initiatives. And one of those initiatives is broadband, and something that she's been working on for quite a long time. And so there's some amazing projects that have happened. There are some amazing projects that are going to happen around broadband. You've heard about some of them, I think, a little bit, but we thought it'd be a great idea to have her come here and really talk about what's going on. It's an exciting time for us. And you think about maybe 20 years ago, there were some days when it got rainy here that you couldn't even make a long distance phone call. And I do remember when I was consulting in Arcata and like in the winter saying our fax machine and our phones aren't working to anybody outside of Humboldt County because it's raining and our microwave system is overloaded. And that was a real pain in the rear. Now, that was quite a while ago, and we've made some substantial progress since then, but we have a long way to go, and Connie is being instrumental in helping us get there. So let's give her all of us a warm welcome.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So first of all, I have to tell you, thank you so much for having me. And I have to tell you, Greg could actually have given this presentation if I hadn't.
No, we don't want it.
I'm well loved in this.
Well, anyway, Greg, if I forget to tell a story or I veer off in something you want me to say, please, I'm sure he'll chime in. You can go to the next slide, or is there a way I can go to the next slide? Oh, I can go to the next slide. So probably most of you know that a subsea cable is being built off the coast of Eureka that will connect Singapore. This is humongous, folks. This is incredibly, now many of us for 20 years have been saying we're closer to China, we're closer to Asia than anywhere else. And we used to think about that in terms of forest products only, but it's also part of the information. So for those of you who are wondering, like, well, what is actually going to happen at 11th Street in that building that's been built with the fence that I can't understand why people hate. If I told you how much that fence costs, you might not be, but for security reasons, that building is being built so Google and Facebook can put a large portion of their Pacific traffic through Arcata and then out to the rest of the country. So they're also building in Southern California between the two places. That's where data is flowing through from everywhere. So it'll have some spurs. Hawaii is a popular spur. There may be a spur to Japan. We're hoping for a spur to Charles Darwin, Darwin University. Alexander Humboldt and Charles Darwin knew each other, so we think it would be great to be sister to universities with them. And then Singapore and Jakarta. So hold on, I can now do this, right? So we often, it's right. Oh, I've got a picture. That's where it's located, right? There are 4 concrete vaults there. And right now, 2 of them have fibers going across the Pacific because a couple of weeks ago, Google's fiber to Taiwan started. And I was out on the beach for, I don't know, about 10 hours or something. I didn't make it all the way because it was starting to get cold and dark. So I missed the bottle of sake at the end, which was, I'm still upset about. But anyway, so there will eventually be 4 cables leaving, going to Pacific. So 1 right now going to Taiwan and 1 going to Singapore. So, and stay tuned for the other 2. So this is the boat. And many of you probably saw the boat docked off the shore. We had the pleasure, Alex Stillman, Kate, Shay, and Zuretti Gooseby, we had the pleasure of touring the boat. Because they had to sit there for $100,000 a day to sit there waiting for the weather to get better so that they could land the cable. And last year there were very few days where you could land the cable. Yeah, go ahead.
We saw that boat on the water, by the way. And, it was during salmon season, and we were all told we have to stay a half a mile away.
Yeah.
So this boat drives right through the fleet. What do you mean I gotta move? I just got a bite. How important is this cable anyway?
There were a lot of people who thought their fish were more important than the cable. You got it. Okay, so there's a lovely picture of us on the dock, and what you're looking at is the device in the middle is the device that actually buries the cable in the ground, and it just goes along the shore and buries the cable. And then that's what 4,000 kilometers of cable looks like in a ship. So I love this picture. I just think it's so wonderful because it's tangible. Like I talk about broadband all the time. I actually got to go touch some fiber. It was pretty exciting. This is what the inside, while they were building the building on 11th Street. And I love what you're looking at in the far picture is the air conditioning. And then there's going to be a bunch of cages with a bunch of racks and a bunch of computers. And probably none of you will ever get into the building because it's top secret. After it's going.
Really serious.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, we're actually going to build a data center that's like public, that scientists and everybody can get into, because we're realizing the amount of protection on this building is going to make it really difficult for people to get in and out because of the sensitive data. Exactly. I'm sure Donald Trump will have some data out of this center soon. No. So anyway, it's got a bank of air conditions to keep all the equipment included, and of course, because there was nothing in there, we got a tour, so we were pretty excited.
Something in the parking lot area?
There's another building going on. That second building will be the building that actually serves our community. Okay, so the first one, we called it a day. So Greg will know, we've been fast and loose with some terminology, and then because we can until we get the other terminology that is better. And so it's like, we called this a data center for a long time. Darn it, it's a subsea cable landing station. Okay, so that is technically what it is. It is because of tsunami zone, this the closest place we could actually technically land the cable and put the equipment out of the tsunami zone to send the signal over. So, what?
Where are those?
They're on the old mill seats at 11th Street. Do you know? Yeah. So 11th and L or 11th and K. So so I work on infrastructure a lot, and somebody also keep me on time here. But now I've worked on deployment so long for 20 years, I haven't really thought about all the things we could do with it, right? You know, if we were in the Silicon Valley, like we're about to have capacity, unlimited capacity, okay? And so what could we do with it? What could your businesses do with it? What kind of prosperity could this bring to our community? That's up to all of us, right? It's not, and any idea is on the table, could potentially be valuable. I love this picture because this is where we're sending our cables, folks, to a circle that has the more living people in it than the rest of the country. I mean, the rest of the planet. They love agriculture. They love fisheries. They have forests. They have the same God. They're foodies. You know, they think like us. We have to, as a community, start thinking about how to talk to them, how to send products. How could our dairy industry work closer? We're about to have the new road system to this and the launch spots. So we're building train stations. See, you know, we use old technology. We're going to have a direct train station to this hot territory. So start dreaming of what to do with this. And I'll tell you, you know, like when I say that, you wouldn't think. I mean, anything. So could be so we have one project. I'm already renting some fiber on the pathway on Myrtle Avenue. Got a small contract to rent 11 kilometers of fiber, which is very exciting. And what are we using it for? We're using it to measure earthquakes around the bay, right? So here's a project, and we have dark fiber, and we have equipment, and very quickly we worked with USGS, and we were recording a earthquake a day along Old Arcata Road. So so that's the kind of thing that, you know, you might not think of that could be beneficial. Ultimately, we're hoping, and Google has said yes, to get a subsea cable out to the Gorda Plate, right? We could maybe studying to get early warning systems that will give everybody extra time before an earthquake hits, that will benefit the entire world, actually. Because we are the most active place in the lower 48, right? So we're the place to study. So this is more about Project Echo, which is the cable to Singapore. And the other thing that's amazing about this is that it does not have ties to China. So we will have one alternative line, because when Hong Kong, the democracy happened in Hong Kong, a lot of those fibers are not secure from being able to espionage. So this will be a secure fiber for folks. So there'll be a lot of interest in getting on this fiber. Cal Poly, of course, is incredibly interested in this. And so as part of, everybody talks about the historic donation to become Cal Poly, but we also stuck some technology money in there that will benefit not only us, but the entire community. We stuck money in for the 299 corridor, which will help serve 16 small communities in Del Norte, Humboldt, and Shasta. And then we are actually buying some fiber on the Singapore, well, buying some capacity on the Singapore build. And we also are going to help deploy a fiber to Trinidad, to our marine lab there. And if you think, well, it's going to go right up McKinleyville, Central Avenue. So there's a lot of business opportunities to get high speed right through Arcata and there. So I tell you all this because people go, well, how is this going to benefit our community? Well, it's going to get this pathway done. Because once these fibers land, they got to go somewhere. The data's got to go somewhere. So they're helping with private funding only, folks, to build a pathway out to Cottonwood, to near Reading. So, and then our spur up to Trinidad. So so this project I've been working on for 20 years with Greg to get 299. It was our #1 priority project, and we've had 7 different companies take a look at it. Lucky number 7, Google, Facebook, and Trans-Pacific Network are going to get it done. So they keep telling me we're going to be putting shovels in the ground. I'm not going to tell you the day. I'm going to tell you the day I think, because the day they think is too soon. February. I think we're going to start probably by February.
And we've come a long way, because I remember there was one company that came and they said, we're going to do this. And they came and did the dog and pony show and just talked about how this is going to happen this year ago. And as soon as everybody said, great, then they came to organizations and say, okay, so we have everything but money.
Yeah. We have an idea.
And by the way, Caltrans won't improve our technology.
Yeah. Okay.
So they got everybody all
Nice to meet you. We actually had to go and ask the state to rescind grants to multiple.
Yeah.
Can you imagine going to state leaders and say, could you take money out of our community? I mean, and I didn't get run out. I mean, honestly, the last grant we actually asked the state to take back was for $47 million because the company couldn't get it done. And Google and Facebook have come in and said, we'll do it for free. So in addition, once again, what benefit, right? They have agreed to give fiber pairs to every tribe in our county as well for free. So I joke, I have nothing but good things to say about Mark Zuckerberg. I don't care what anybody else says right now. Like, I'm a friend of Facebook. So, and Google. So what, in addition, okay, so what I've been talking about are big pipes, right? Well, to explain how broadband works, I think looking at a road system is the best way. So what I'm talking about is like the I-5 corridor and the 101 corridor. And so then you have to get off the runway and get into the neighborhoods, right? And who's gonna do that? Well, that's where we have to pick up and take advantage. So when I say, like, what do you need? What is your business need? How could your business grow? Whatever. Governor Newsom signed a law that it's going to put $6 billion into middle mile, last mile projects. Those are the roads to your house. Those are the roads to your business. So $6 billion is coming. One of the 3.25 billion, and I always get this wrong, billion with the B, is going to make sure that the state owns a backbone system that everybody can fairly get on. Because right now, most of those pipes are privately owned. So I'm not picking on AT&T, they just happen to be the owner of one of the pipes. They're never going to let another business on that pipe for less than it costs them to serve, right? So that inherently, because why would they? It's their investment, right? So why would they let somebody come in and The lack of competition is what has made it so hard. So what we want is cooperation or co-opetition, not one provider. So the state's going to come in and they're going to say, heck, we're going to build it, and then everybody can fairly play on it. Then there's $2 billion for actually getting to your house and business. That's the last mile. So and then if that's not good enough, there's actually money for communities who say, we want to build our own infrastructure system. And you can get there's 750 million. So if people went with pitchforks to the city of Arcata and said, we want you to build a community system, the city could get some loan money and build a private system. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's an option. And it's probably a very good option for some really small communities that aren't going to have service. Yeah, and how am I doing on time?
Connie, does that 750 million also cover the pitchforks?
No. So and the other thing is, I say fiber is good for every diet. That's my broadband. So fiber, I'm all for fiber. I don't like to get in trouble with wireless guys. Yeah.
For the residential customers or small business, is there opportunity in this whole scope of things to move away from the regional franchise contracts that like suddenly got?
Actually, how do we get? Yeah, actually, so there are opportunities for new providers to come in, and that's what I mean by co-opetition, right? Because how do you improve your business model? You have competition. And then you improve your business model, right? And so that's what communities have lacked, right? So because there'll be an open playing field, we will have some people who maybe, there may be people who say, okay, I'm going to put up my shingle here and I'm going to create a little space and I'm going to compete for that business.
So there will be a more open than just a single franchise approved by the SUPs.
Yeah, potentially.
But
If you have, a few years,
not to go, the whole history is that years ago, the state, at the behest of big business, took away the local franchise ability anyway, so it's actually franchised by the state now. But so the supervisors have very limited ability in the cities on the franchise.
Yeah. But you'll see what happened in Fairhaven. Odie's came in, Dowlett came in because the microwave to Suddenlink was out. AT&T couldn't serve that community, and now he's created a high-speed project for that. You will see some entrepreneurs come off and pick off some other and provide quality products.
That's a wireless system they put in Fairhaven.
Okay. Well, I'm getting my 5-minute warning here. This is the federal money because there's not enough money, right? That you throw at problems. This is the federal money. So there's the $268 million for minority serving institutions. Cal Poly is hoping to get some of that money because we have folks living out in the middle of nowhere who need wireless hotspots or other equipment in order to go to school. We're hoping that will help us with serving them and serving some tribal folks who might want to still live out remotely but still go to school. You probably heard about the recent grants to HOOPA and the UROC that came out of that $2 billion. There's more money, and I have a joke. You're not supposed to be able to read this, okay? So don't get nervous here. I have not lost my ability to put together a PowerPoint, but there are so many grant programs right now that I had to create the periodic table of broadband grant funding. So each one of those colors represents a different agency and all of their programs. And are those programs working together? Sadly, they're not. So one of the problems that people like me are having is like, which grant do we apply for? And which one is beneficial to helping our community? And I have to tell you, after I created this chart, I was like, oh, forget it. but I mean, I can say, oh, forget it, because we have so much private investment right now. But we're going to have to start digging deep into some of these to get the spurs to your businesses and others. So anyway, I know I focus mostly on funding because like I said, I've been so focused on how do I get to X community? How do we get to Y? That I need all of you to start thinking about now that we're about to get it to you. What are you gonna do with it? What are you gonna do with it? Think about that. Think about how much capacity you'll need, or tell your friends, or who should we recruit into our community to start businesses or relocate here. Or you probably have a neighbor who's a climate refugee who left their company down somewhere, and now they can actually maybe start hiring people here locally to be part of their company. The joke is, if you go to Patsy Klein's or something like that, you can look at, there's a guy who told me, who works for Square up here, he programs the Square. He says, I can walk into the bars down in Eureka and I can just tell by their clothing who are the technology guys who are climate refugees, who are all waiting for these pipes so they can have a division up here and start hiring high school students to interns and others to start using this technology. So anyway, I'm going to stop there and answer any questions because I only have 3 minutes left, right? Okay. What are questions? Go ahead. Okay.
Have they estimated like how many jobs will be created from this offspring in February, or what they are going to be as far as employment?
Okay, so there's the construction crews. Most of them are already in place. There'll be some local hires, but most of them are already working. You're already seeing them on the side of the roads.
And then as long as it's going to take, are they going to hire more people?
The crew will move. So this existing crew will move mobile. I mean, there'll be some hires, but not, maybe double. It's not going to be significant. It's mostly technology, but drilling and other things that do it. It's not the construction part of this is not as like housing or anything like that.
So is this cable going out 299? Is it like a hard line? You can take it back or take a whole hard line?
Do you see the directional drill?
Yeah,
directional drilling, they'll go down 3 feet into the granite.
We saw how vulnerable suddenly it was. They had every once in a while have a vault, somebody started vandalizing it, or suddenly it was chopped off from somebody,
And we had a bill legislation because it was actually less of a fine to intentionally harm a station than it was to accidentally harm a station.
So they hopefully found a way to make this less vulnerable.
Yeah.
But towards that, the first fiber optic line was put in, I don't know, 15 years ago. That was the one that AT&T north south, and they strung it on wires and
trees.
And top of the shed, whatever. And the engineer who since passed away, but the engineer was saying, this thing is so vulnerable. And then you talk to they go, oh no, it's fine. He says, it's fallen into a river, it's been all that stuff. And AT&T said, we were advocating for a second fiber, and they're like, you don't need it, this is great. And then we had 4 outages a year. And
it was Greg's fault because he was quoted in the paper saying, a yahoo with the backhoe can take us out. And the same yahoo in the same place 4 times cut the line, because the line was at that time it was so close to the ground that literally when they mowed, they occasionally hit the line. This will be 3 feet, 4 feet deep. And then the vaults are underground vaults. You could actually get out of your car at Samoa Boulevard and walk, and you'll see these large manholes that are hard. To the vaults. Good luck getting into one of those.
Is that what the project has?
Yeah.
If you see this big hard line, laying there for months.
Yeah.
They have buried it.
That's a conduit.
That's conduit,
That's
that's
a conduit,
not the
right,
one.
that's the conduit.
So they'll bury that and they blow the fiber.
Then they blow so the current fiber that's in the ground is a long myrtle all the way to the PG&E station. And then they're blowing the first fiber to on one side of Samoa Boulevard, 255. The other side of 255 will also have conduit. That's what you're seeing, the staging for that. They're actually next week they'll be blowing under the Mad River Slough under the bridge. And for the one side of the road, they had to go 60 feet under that bridge because there was so much old history underneath there in order to get that, and then it comes up, it ends up in the vaults because you have to have power. So you bring it back to the shore now you guys, you're gonna make me geek out here. And then you have to have a power system and you keep power.
I have.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Okay, sorry.
It sounds like the blow, and that's gonna take a lot of hot air. Is Greg really gonna be able to do all that?
On the back of the.
Hey, I'm up for a challenge.
I'm sorry, Carol.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
Maybe she had an actual question.
Yeah, she did.
You answered many of them. I could do 255 every day. I'm wondering how many years will this be going on?
Oh, it should be, if Caltrans would be better with permits, it would happen very quickly. It's probably gonna be done soon. Yeah, yeah, sorry, guys. Look,
It's like 2 years soon or away.
It's the permitting that's slow.
yeah, the permitting is taking a long time. That's why there's lots of staging. It should be, February, by February. Okay. Sorry. Okay, thank you guys. Sorry.
So really, I wanted to leave space for a couple of things. First, Zoom charges and meeting charges. Unfortunately, we've gotten a little bit of feedback about, charging for Zoom, and it's just really addressing kind of a lag that we've been experiencing in not meeting our catering numbers. We have a minimum to host in-person meetings, and we have a minimum, and Zoom comes with an associated cost. So trying to balance that is what you're experiencing right now. So this happened back in May, maybe, I believe is correct, the vote that there would be a Zoom charge, and we're just catching up with that right now. So I apologize. It wasn't a more graceful thing, but here we are. This is what's happening. Any comment?
Well, I'd just like to think we basically asked Elizabeth to just open a restaurant specifically for us, so that we can have this experience right here, and we need everyone to help.
Yeah. And I think it's the most fair to all concerned if we share that equally. The people that are on Zoom and then here in the room together. So that's
it's not a penalty fee.
This is bonus.
It's a bonus that we can allow people to be on Zoom and join us without having to be in person.
But it does cost money. We just need to, So sorry about that. Ian will speak next week because that's going to be too long. So next week we have a field trip.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. To Nordic Farms.
Nordic Farms. We're having a field trip next week, a meeting out at Nordic Aqua Farms. You're going to get an email that gives you directions. So open your email. We're going to meet at 7 a.m. same time, and I would love to meet out there at Nordic Aqua Farms.
Wear shoes that you can walk in. This is going to be
an industrial site there. Yeah. And so we're gonna get a field trip. I guess I'm gonna arrange to have bagels and coffee and juice. Does that sound appropriate and simple enough? And if there's anybody who wants to help me with that, that would be great. If anybody afterwards wants to wait and help me strategize logistically, get that done. good to know, like, in the room right now, how many of you want to come to Nordic Aqua Farm? Okay, that gives me at least a good estimate right there. Okay, great. So it should be really interesting, and we should get it done within our time. So, okay, all right, and you got some people in there. All right, wonderful.
Is this on Friday or Saturday? Friday.
It's Friday.
Oh, instead of.
Instead of here, we're meeting now, but nobody here. Nobody will be here.
Elizabeth won't be here, you won't be here, in the building.
There won't be coffee either.
No coffee, no nothing. So meet out there, and we'll have coffee and bagels. And no Zoom.
No Zoom.
No Zoom.
No Zoom, no coffee, I mean, the world is ending. No broadband.
And then I just wanted to check in on the interactors. Is there anything you'd like to update us with? On the spot?
Oh, geez.
The press will be, soon people can see it.
He's like, oh, this is fun.
We've advertised the suicide prevention walk. And we have a lot of volunteers and people that are happy to do that. So we just had our first meeting last week, so we don't have a lot going on yet. But we have a couple, I don't know, Pastels on the Plaza is ready for this, no? It is?
Yep, we'll have to.
We
get
just said yes to
volunteers and
that,
stuff.
but yeah.
Okay.
We need
Well,
an artist.
I plan on talking about that in today's meeting and the Oktoberfest. in today's
How
meeting.
many of them, how many members do you have?
A lot, like a lot of
A
people
little
showed
over
up to
100
that.
showed up. That's the beginning of the thing, we'll see how it
Yeah.
goes through the year. Yeah.
When is Pascal's?
I don't remember the date.
First Sunday.
That's right.
Second then.
That'll be the second one.
We're still looking for an artist though, so just file that away, just make sure. it's-
That's still
Yeah.
October 1st, right?
How many artists, just one or?
This one, we just have a square.
Okay,
It's Sunday. Perfect day after.
awesome. That's it.
All right.
And then if you owe Marty a conversation about Oktoberfest, if you said you raised your hand last week and said you would participate, please meet him right here, front table. And that's gonna be it. All right, beautiful.